So a few months ago, my boyfriend and I were sitting on the sofa and I asked him what he thought I should do for my next knitting project. And he turned to me and said, "You should knit Life-Size Thanos." And at first I thought, that's ridiculous, I'm not going to do that. But then I thought, that might be kind of funny. So I decided to make Life-Size Thanos. Little did I know that I was going to need 4 kilograms of yarn, that it was going to take me 4 months to make, and that it was going to blow up on TikTok. If you don't know who Thanos is, he is the big purple bad guy from the Avengers movies, which are very good. I would highly recommend a watch if you haven't seen them already. He is 8 foot 3 inches tall, and I had to knit him. While I went through the process of knitting Life-Size Thanos, I recorded some of my processes. So this is a video of me making Life-Size Thanos. So this is how tall Thanos is going to be. I'm going to need so much wool. After realising how tall 8 foot 3 actually is, I got started on knitting his giant head. I've made little holes because I'm going to put his eyeballs underneath. I've made these as sort of like his lines, you know, the lines you get from your nose, and then his little weird chin dent thing. I don't know why he has those. While I sew up Thanos, here's Omar to tell you some facts about Thanos.
He was born on the moon of Titan, and he possessed the gene from his ancient ancestors that made him look purple. But as a child in the comics, that's why he's always obsessed with ultimate power and killing people.
I have finished Thanos' head, and here it is. As you can see, it is much bigger than my head. This is the wool I'm using. It's called Red Heart Soft. It recommends you make this cardigan, but why would you make a cardigan when you could make Thanos? And then this was what the finished head looked like. And then I decided to make a start on the vest, and as it was the heat wave, I decided to do some knitting outside while my mum was sunbathing and aggressively playing Pokemon Go. This is my new Thanos bra. And I had a little break to have a cupcake. To make the vest, I made the main front bit, which has got the blue stripe on it, and added these 2 side panels. I then added the gold bit for the neck and the gold bits for the bit that go around his arms, and basically repeated this exact same process to make the back of the vest as well. His vest is ready. So this is the vest. I need something to give you scale. Here's his vest with a can of WD-40 for scale. Ooh! Ah! And then after I'd made the vest, I had to make it so that it was actually going to stand up. So I got my brother to wear the vest while I sewed in what would be the torso, and then I stuffed it with a double duvet and sewed on the arms. To make the arms, I first made these 2 round bits, which were his shoulders, and then I made 2 separate bits for each bicep. And then I made 1 forearm bit and 1 hand bit, and I didn't make the other side because that's where the gauntlet was going to go. And then this is what it looked like when it was all sewn up. And here it is with me laying on it for size reference. It was so comfy. I put a video on my TikTok a little while ago asking if people thought his head was too small compared to his body, which at the time I couldn't really tell. But now that I've finished his arm and hand, yeah, it's way too small. I'm gonna have to make that again. I've finished his hand and given him a thumb, and it's massive. I've also started on the gauntlet, which again is massive. To make the gauntlet, I started with the cuff, which was the bit that was going to go around his forearm, and then I made the separate bit for his hand. And then I made each of the fingers in 3 bits. So I started at the bottom, then added the middle, and then added the fingertips. And then I repeated the same process to make the thumb. And then the fun bit was adding all the pretty decoration. So I used a bit of cable knit here and there, and added all the slots for the infinity stones to go. And then this is what the gauntlet looked like when it was finished. I didn't put all the stones on straight away because I had a fun video idea for these, which I'll come on to later. And then I just sewed the gauntlet onto the arm where there wasn't a hand. And yeah, and then this is what it looked like when it was all sewn together. So in the Avengers films, when Thanos gets an Infinity Stone, it's so powerful that it makes his arm go like... Ah. So my boyfriend had a really cool idea that I could bring that to life a bit in what I'm making and use some lights. So I got these lights on Amazon and they go like this. So I laid out the lights coming out the arm above the gauntlet and pinned them in place and then stitched over them so that they would look like veins. And then my audio goes funny here, so I'm just going to talk over it. But basically someone on TikTok suggested that I Velcro these Infinity Stones in, so I did that. So now when you put the stone in, you can press the button for the veins and they light up. And this is what it looked like in the dark. I didn't really film much of me making the legs, but basically I made 2 long bits in brown to make the trousers. Then to make the boots I made this main bit for his leg and then made a separate bit for the actual bit that goes over the foot. Then I added this gold band that goes around the top and then add the little navy bit that sticks out over the knee and the gold decoration that goes on top of that. And then I sewed that all onto the body to give him a complete body. I also wanted to make everything look a bit more realistic here, so I added some shading using my really nice eyeshadow palette and just went over everywhere I thought there would be a bit of a shadow. So I went over the arms, the gauntlet and his belt. I then somehow convinced my boyfriend to act out in various roles to show bits of the film where Thanos gets the stones. This was my first attempt to try and get Thanos to stand up, so I put these cardboard bits in his shoes and put some poles down his body and then tried to see if it would stand up. When that didn't work, I packed Thanos into my car somehow and took it over to my mum and dad's house, where my dad got to work on building a frame for me. I did not help at all. And then this was the finished frame, and these bottom bits are the legs, this bit's for the hips, and this is the shoulders. And then the last thing to do was remake his tiny head, so here's a time lapse of me doing that. When it was finally done, this is what the new head looked like compared to the old one. And then with it all finished and standing up on its own, we took it outside for a photo shoot. Even though this has taken me absolutely ages to make, I've really loved doing it. It's been so much fun. I've always said if you can knit, purl, increase and decrease, then you can knit anything. So even if it sounds ridiculous, why not give it a go? And if you're wondering where Thanos is now, he's standing with a broken neck in my living room.